Imagine having the life of your dreams. Not temporary cash and glory, but happiness and inner peace. Explore new ways to be a creator and take your own journey into greatness. Is it possible? What does it take to make that happen? It takes the person known for extreme results. He's called the cage breaker and the ultimate catalyst. Coming back from the brink of death and now crushing it for himself and his clients, this is Your Ultimate Life Podcast with Kellen Flukiger.
Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Your Ultimate Life, episode 592. We're closing in on 600. I know I say that every day, but I'm so excited. Yay. Today, I want to talk about direction or frenzy. The ultimate life is a life of purpose, prosperity, and joy that you create by serving with your divine gifts, but you know that because you're here and you've heard this before. Why am I talking about direction or frenzy? Well, this is the fifth of 6 episodes having to do with the freedom equation. Now, with 588, we started with the freedom equation, definition of freedom, and we said learning plus focus plus action equals liberty. I defined liberty as an abundance of choice with the ability to make or choose what you want in a given area. That makes you free in that area. So if you have no money and you have you're not earning money, then your options are limited and you feel like there's a loss of freedom in respect to finances. You might feel the same with health. If you're sick and in a bed, you right at that moment, you have constraints that don't give you the ability to go play tennis this afternoon. So there's a limitation in choice. One of the things that we do with the word freedom is we misdefine it, and we talk about it in the context of, I can do anything I want, anytime I want, and we've already talked about that's not real freedom. Freedom is a choice. It's abundance of choice and the ability to choose. But it isn't just having cash, because that can be taken from us. Your physical freedom, the ability to walk around, can be taken from you. You can be put in jail. Your health might be taken from you, and so you're bound to a bed, or you're sick in some way. But never can anyone take the freedom of your mind away. Now, if someone is ill in that way, that's different. But the freedom, and as long as that is healthy, your freedom in your mind is yours to have. How you look at life, how you feel about life, how happy you are, all of those things are yours, and they're the most precious. That's the fun part. When I had all the material things I wanted in the world, I wasn't happy, and no amount of that would have made me happy. Now that I have peace of mind, peace in my heart, my heart is happy, then nothing matters. How much I do or don't have doesn't matter. Okay, and that's true even when setbacks occur. I recently have had a setback that punched me out. And it was not fun, but I'm still happy, thrilled. There's a way forward and I'll find it. And I don't know what it is right now, but I'll find it. And so true happiness, the ultimate life, purpose, prosperity, and joy created by serving with your divine gifts is available today. You can have joy today and happiness today. We defined liberty as having choices and being able to take them. And the way we create liberty is by learning the appropriate things, focusing, and then taking action, which we talked about yesterday. Today is a refinement or a continuation of the action piece, because sometimes you hear, you got to take massive action and you got to do all, and that phrase, massive action, is given like it's the answer to something. It's not. There's nothing wrong with massive action. But often I see, and I have done this, just frenzy. Go, do, act, boom, boom, and then you end up with perhaps a third of it being really directed and useful, and the other 2/3 is a waste of energy and time, and can also be discouraging. So I want to talk about the difference between directed action and frenzy. Because liberty created by learning and focus and action is enhanced when we are intelligent, intentional, and clear about our action. Now, a while ago, I did 3 episodes on what action means and what kind of action to take. And I use the acronym DCM, direct, consistent, motivated action, in order to have it be useful and powerful for you. So today, direction or frenzy, I want to talk about 3 parts, which I always try to break it up in 3 parts. The first part is what distractions do, what self-doubt does, and what noise around us does to our action. Part 2 is trying to do too much at once and then being the master of none, what that does to our action. And then I want to talk in part 3 about what having a clear destination does and making flight adjustments. And we're going to use the analogy of an airplane flight as given by a commercial airline pilot. I'll tell you some story that I heard from one. So let's start with number 1, distraction, self-doubt, and noise. Well, if we allow ourselves to be distracted a lot, then we don't get a lot done. Now, I have a bunch of examples of that in my own life. I work in the studio, my recording studio. I do music, and I love it, and it's a favorite thing of mine. It's peaceful, it's powerful, it makes me feel creative, and it's good stuff. I compose good music and blah, blah, blah. But often, I won't even say sometimes, often, because there's lots of software involved and lots of cool things, I open my email and I open my music creation package. I happen to use Cubase. There's a whole bunch of them out there, but I use that. And then I start wondering, I wonder if there's a software update. I wonder if there's new plugins. I wonder if there's new stuff here. And then I get distracted and I waste an hour, half an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours. Not often 5 hours, but sometimes it has happened where I get distracted down some path, and then the action is not productive. And so that, of course, creates no liberty, no choice, no freedom. So that's an example of distraction. Maybe you have some in your own life. So what I'm challenging you to do right now is think of one distraction that's in your face today and smash it, ignore it, minimize it, shrink it, make it be 3 minutes instead of 30 if you have to do it at all. So that's one thing, distractions. Another thing is self-doubt. Now, this one's more subtle. This one affected me a lot also, and that I'm going to use the music as an example. I've done music all my life, but most of the music has been without words, not vocals, not me singing. It has been composed music. I've done a lot of EDM, electronic dance music, and meditation music, and all jazz, some big band jazz arrangements and stuff that I really like. Done a lot of that, but something was in me about my singing. Maybe that's not good enough. So when I wrote the 2 albums for the Tightrope series, the album Name of the Black with 11 songs that went with Tightrope of Depression, and the album Promise and Power that also had 11 songs that went with the book Down from the Gallows, whoa, getting ready to do those vocals, there was some fear there, and so I put it off, and I redid them, and that self-doubt, again, caused delay, just like distractions do, and that delay made the albums take months longer than they needed, because that self-doubt was in there, and that affects people that write books or create courses or sell their products and services, that trying to create business, especially healers and coaches and those kinds of things are really affected by self-doubt, but everybody is. I regularly talk to people who are affected in a strong way by this whole self-doubt thing that seems to infect us all. Self-doubt is one of the monsters that gets in our way, and I have a series that it's kind of funny. I call it Master Your Monsters, because I think of monsters, that kind of used to live under the bed or in the closet when we were kids. But anyway, self-doubt, that is a thing that we all have, and we need to eliminate or ignore or both so that we can fulfill the measure of our creation. The third piece of this, part 1, was noise, and noise is the opinions of others, witthat, I call it, what I think others think. Others' opinions, others' feelings, other people pushing in on us, saying you can't do that, or you shouldn't do that, or you're not meant to do that, or what are you trying to do, or the false impressions given by a lot of social media about other stature, standing, or status. All of that is noise that sometimes causes our action to be less effective. The whole second part I wanted to enter into is too much at once makes us the master of none. I talked a little bit about that yesterday in terms of action, and I want to just talk a little more. You're not required to do everything. One of the things that regularly comes up when I am a guest, as a speaker or as a podcast guest, which I've done on many, 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 many podcasts, people ask always, like, what is the magic secret? What would you tell us, one thing? And there's several pieces to that, but one of them that I always get to is, look, you have to start the success cadence. Now, cadence is how often something happens. A cadence is also, in a marching band, is like the drum line, the cadence. Here's the thing. You have to have a success cadence, and I'll give it to you right now. The success cadence is, I said it, I did it, 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 and on ad infinitum. We all set goals, even little ones. I'm going to get up tomorrow and go exercise. I'm going to get up early and do this and that and the other. I'm going to start meditating. I'm going to read a book a week. I'm going to whatever. And then we don't, and then we get mad at ourselves, and we get down on ourselves, and this whole circle repeats, and then we feel bad. Here's the answer. If you don't keep your goals, then you stop trusting yourself. You're a liar to yourself. And you think, well, I'll keep my word to other people, but to me it doesn't matter. That's actually backwards. It matters the most that you keep your goal to yourself. So you know the way to solve that? Shrink the goal. Beating yourself up doesn't work. Yelling, doing all kinds of negative stuff toward yourself doesn't work. Thinking of yourself as a failure doesn't work. Shrink the goal. Stop fighting with the goal. Shrink the goal until you can do it. And then you start the cadence of I said it, I did it, I said it, I did it, I said it, I did it. Then you have become a person who keeps their word. You trust yourself and well, I said it, so of course I'm going to do it. That changes everything. That by itself is a game changer. So too much at once means you don't do half the stuff, you're a master of none of it, and you fall prey to the game, the victimness of lying to yourself all the time. And that's harsh to say, well, you're lying to yourself. Well, no, I just didn't have time. Nonsense. You're lying to yourself and you stop trusting yourself. So the cadence of success is I said it, I did it, I said it, I did it. That is a power piece that will last you your whole life. The third thing that is part of the direction or frenzy topic is clear destination. We need to know exactly where we're going. So if you set goals that are monetary, certain amount of money, it has to have a date on it. I have $10,000 in the bank by this day that's free and unencumbered, or a weight goal, or a relationship goal, or a book reading goal, or a product creation goal, or a book writing goal, or anything you want. The goal has to be clear. And I answer that with two simple questions. Do what by when? Do what by when? Now, direction or frenzy was the title of this episode. So the question is the action that I'm doing right now moving this goal forward or moving me toward that goal? I mean, yes or no? If it's not, is it a distraction? Is it procrastination because of self-doubt? Is it noise because of others' opinions? Like, what is the reason this action isn't serving me? I made the goals. I said I wanted it. So then reconfirm and then recommit. The last part of this is what I call flight adjustments. You probably already know this, but a commercial pilot was giving a talk one day, and I heard him talk about the fact that an airplane, when they're flying, from A to B, is off course, probably 80 or 90% of the time. That means if they, at any given second, if they continued flying in exactly that direction, they would completely miss their destination city. And that's because they need tiny flight adjustments. Now, today, they're made by computers and all that kind of stuff. A little while ago, some years ago, pilots had to do that, and they did it by radio beacons and radar and those kinds of things, checking in and checking headings and compasses and all the rest of the tools. Your work and my work is exactly the same. Are you still moving in the direction of the goals you set? You're free at any time to change the goal, but don't change them because of fear and don't change them because of lazy. Change them because you decided you needed a new goal. flight adjustments or momentary, minute-to-minute, day-to-day changes are just part of the game. We talked before about execute, evaluate, adjust, and ready, fire, steer. This is along the same lines. Check your action. If your action is just something to do, it's an activity, that falls into the category of frenzy. It's not directed action. It's not direct, consistent, motivated action that gets you to your goal. And I'm not saying with this you don't get to have fun and play and all that stuff. Of course you do. But what we do most of the time is we be sure set aside time for recreation, and then in the time we set aside for action, we don't really do it. We don't make good adjustments. We don't have clear destinations, and we mess around, and we don't write it down, and we don't. You know the drill because you've done this, and I know you have. I have. We all have. This is an invitation for you to take steps to create your ultimate life of purpose, prosperity, and joy starting right now. Start right now with little goals. I said it. I did it. Aimed at a clear destination, making regular adjustments that are guaranteed to keep moving you and tweaking your path right to that square on target of creating your ultimate life.
Open your heart and this time around.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. We hope that you take it deeply into your heart and decide for yourself how you can create anything you desire. If you like what you heard, please subscribe to this podcast and share it with your friends. As always, we'd love to hear your feedback and topic suggestions. Until tomorrow, this is Your Ultimate Life with host Kellen Flukiger.